Hi guys, Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here today. I am going to continue on with my Simply Beautiful Christmas card series. I've decided to turn it into a series because I am on my Christmas card journey. So please come along on this crafting journey with me. And if I inspire you, please let me know by liking, subscribing, and maybe sharing with your friends. Maybe they need some inspiration too. Today I'm going to do something a little bit more fussy than what I did with the paper pack on my last video, but I'm going to be using some printables from Sweet Pea Curiosities, and I'm going to make a full A2 shaker card front today. So those are fairly simple to make. I use the shaker sheets by Picket Fence Studios. I think I got these off of maymaymadeit.com. Don't hold me to it, so I don't know, but that's where I think I got it last year, the year before. And then I have some shaker bits, which is from This Calls for Confetti, which is Candy Cane Lane, and I thought it was perfect to go with this printable. I'm going to link this printable in the description down below because it's such a wonderful printable. You could make a whole journal out of it. You could make cards. You could make tags, embellishments, whatever you want. I chose the Vintage Santa Claus, of course, because I'm the sucker for Vintage Santa. So I did cut this down. This came in the same paper so we could fold it and make it like a journal page. But I wanted to show you how beautifully vibrant and detailed this is. Marissa is so talented. I love it. This would be a perfect Christmas journal. I'm going to use the Vintage Santa, like I said. I'm going to set this aside for another card on another day. I've opted for my We Are guillotine trimmer today because my Fiskars is acting up a little bit and I didn't want to mess with it. I also have my double-sided tape. I have my A2 card fronts, and then I have my little tackle box full of sequins because I know I'm going to use this because I love this and I think it fits the Vintage Santa perfectly, but I might want to sparkle it up just a little bit. So I do have that I'm going to set off to the side so I don't accidentally spill it. And I'm just going to make Santa the whole card fronts. So I'm going to be cutting him down. So I'm going to start by cutting him down to 4 1/4, which I kind of measured this out before. I'm going to top him off just a little bit, but not so much that you don't understand the concept. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's going to be my whole card front. So this is what we end up with. I wanted to make sure to get some of this detail in there. I'm setting these off to the side for scraps. And I just kind of want to measure it up to my card front. So it is. If it's the whole card front, that's the way I want it. I'm going to decorate the card front first and then attach it to the card base. And you can use these. Oh, it might just fit perfectly. I have a little extra. You can use these really however you want. I normally like to use it like this. I'm just going to kind of show you roughly. I hope I'm in frame here. And then I fold it around and do that with the double-sided tape. I try not to make it too tight, but that tends to be a little bit of an issue of mine. And I do sometimes make it too tight so the shakers can't go around. I am just doing an anti-powder static tool. I don't know where I got this. It's old. I've had it for years, but it has that anti-static powder inside of it. Just so the shaker bits don't cling to the front of the acetate material, which it might end up doing anyway, so because that kind of happens. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this down. Just going to shake here. There's so much in here. I love This Calls for Confetti. I mean, there's so much in here. There's a Merry Christmas. Oh, that's so cute. I'll throw that in there. I got to do it backwards. I'm just going to throw it down with my fingers. The one great thing about these mixes is they're fairly detailed. So I may not even need to add my little sequin tackle box. But I think I'm going to anyway. Just because I want it to be filled up with goody goodies. And I might be filling it up too much. I've done this before. So let's see. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of these jewel shaker bits in there. I hope everybody's doing great today. I may have to turn my fan around the other way. I apologize if I just hit you. It's pretty warm here today and it's still pretty dry, so it has my allergies acting up. But I need the fan on because of the hot flashes. So I'm just gonna set this down. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tape on here. I have, let me get my scissors, that it can be a little bit tacky. I have the red line tape, which has tremendous stick. If you're a card maker, you know it has a really good stick to it. Or I just have regular double-sided tape, which I got at Hobby Lobby. So they're different lengths. I'm going to start out with the red line tape first, because I like the stick that it provides. And I might have gone up too far. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to do this around the edges. Now what I'm going to do is take out my little pokey tool and I'm going to poke off the backing paper here because it is going to go over just a little bit. I hope you guys liked the last video. If you didn't see the last video, I just made a Simply Beautiful Christmas card using one pad of paper, and it went by fairly quickly, and it's 2 cards, and it was like a 30-minute video, so that's like 15 minutes a card. They weren't too fussy. I did add a few little extra embellishments on there on one card, but you know, nothing crazy. This one's a little bit more in depth. Oh, well, there we go. That worked out. Like this one's a little bit more fussy than the other card. So because this is just on 40-pound cardstock, because that's what I do my digital printables on, so it's bending a little bit, but that shouldn't be a problem in our finished product. I'm going to tell you what the problem is the tape being so sticky, which is good. So there we go. And I'm just going to fold this back on itself. Okay, so I'm going to get the other things out of the way. So it is curling it just a little bit. If you wanted to do this with some of your stash, I would highly recommend that. I'm just in love with this Vintage Santa, and I love Sweet Pea Curiosities digital kits. Like if you haven't checked her out on Etsy, I recommend you do that. She's so detailed. It's a whole kit in there. Okay. So I want to pull this up. I've been known, there, I just want to pull it so it's it's tight a little bit. And center it up in there. There we go. Now I'm going to try to pull this side tight to where my paper is flat and it doesn't get too wrinkled on the other side. That can happen because this has been rolled. I'm going to do like a guesstimate of the trimming. Do not hold me to it. I have a hard time cutting a straight line if it's not with the paper trimmer, and apparently my Fiskars is taking after me, so. Okay, and I'm just going to continue to fold that over and stick it down. If anything doesn't stick down, we'll glue it. Okay. So it's not perfectly even, Like we have a little few hanging spots right there, which is fine, of the shaker sheet. I'm just going to trim that down. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue in there, which if you saw me on my last video, I struggled with my, well, I just cleaned it out and I accidentally took off the whole lid. So I was going to say, you saw me struggle with that glue. You're seeing me struggle with it again. So I'm just going to take out my handy dandy backup. And I'm just going to put a few dots of glue right here. Oh, well, this one I never clean out. You think I should be prepared, right, guys? Sorry. There we go. And just stick it down. It's going to go over the edge. We're not going to worry too much about it. And we are gluing this card front down as well. But just because I trimmed a little bit of the edges off, I don't want to risk the shaker bits coming out. So that's going to be okay right there. And go ahead and if anything else is sticking up, which I do not think it is. So this is a real simple, easy card to make, especially if you have patterned paper, if you have the digitals, if you have any of the confetti, and if you have a card front. You could do any card size you want. Like I said, I do not make a border on these shaker card fronts because I want the shaker is, you know, that's going to be the hole. So I'm running out of this tape, which is fine because I've had this tape for a little bit. Oh, did we fall out? Did our shaker bit fall out? I hope not. Okay. I think it must just be from my table. Okay, so we're just gonna go right here like this. No problem. I'm gonna toss that aside and gives me something else I need at Hobby Lobby. Because all of their Christmas stuff is 50% off. So, you know, we always need an excuse to go get something else. Or if you guys use the Michael Rewards program, you can get a reward in their app for spending X amount of dollars. I think I have a $5 reward waiting for me waiting for me in there. So now I have something to spend it on that I need. Okay, so we're just gonna keep kind of tearing at the backing of this. I struggle with backing. I don't know about you guys. I just do. Like, my fingers are not small enough anymore, and if it doesn't come right up, and I am taping this side down really, really well. So I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. I'm going to have another collaboration video for the Sugar Plum Stories collaboration. I'm going to have another one of those coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. Because if you have taken advantage of all the goodies in the coffee shop with Wild Rose Bohemian and Petals and Parchment, you're going to want to know what to do with your goodies. But meanwhile, I am over here creating my Christmas cards, admiring Marissa's vintage Santas, because love me a vintage Santa. So I'm excited to share this card with whomever gets it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring out my card front, wipe it off because I got some glue. Oh, it is spilling out. Whoa! Well, where's it spilling out from? I really thought I glued it all down. I think I did not. Okay, guys. So you're seeing my mistake in person. Lovely. but that's okay because that's kind of telling me what I need to do. I do not make shaker cards all the time. I'm not like a shaker card like aficionado or anything. So it's the part that I trimmed, which I was wondering if that was going to kind of be an issue, but that's why I tried to reinforce it with some glue. I'm just going to reinforce it with a double-sided tape. And hopefully that'll fix the problem. Fix it right on up. If it does not, I'm scrapping this video. You'll never see it. And no one will be the wiser. We are just a mess here, guys. Like, it's part of the process. It's part of the process. You probably have a better way of doing this. I'm gonna need to glue more down over there. I love to share my ideas and my inspiration with you, but I also love to gather inspiration from others. So feel free to share your ideas with me. Okay, so hopefully we are still spilling out. Oh, but there's a hole in the front right here. I might have to scrap this whole video then. Okay, let's tear it off. I am a mess. Okay, I've made clearly a mess and probably more than a few mistakes on this card. Let's get it down. I am gluing on top of all of my tape because I've obviously trimmed it too much around the edges. So let's get it on the card front. And then we can kind of round out the sides of it. There we go. Okay. Okay, and I have a little sticky bit right here on the edge. No worry, we're just gonna fold that back and that is gonna be fine. I'm not going to stress about it. It's a little bit of hairs from my powder tool. But you get the gist of the card, right? Now I do want to put a sentiment on the inside and I want to embellish the inside just a little bit. So let me get out my stamping mat. So as you can see, this card's a little bit fussier than the last card that I made. But I made mistakes along the way. I fixed them. No more, oh, are more bits coming out? I was gonna say no more bits are coming out. I might have lied. There might be a few more bits coming out, or it might just be a mess I generally have in here. Okay. Let's just tear this off. Okay, so you can see the little mistake. I am probably going to cover up the edges. Now I'm using my anti-static tool because it takes off the stick. Now I used my stamping mat. I think I'm going to go ahead and clean up my edges just a little bit with some ribbon. So I have some ribbon here. I probably want a thinner type ribbon because now I've made a few boo-boos on the edge because it was falling out earlier. And I pretty much rectified that, but I could just poke a hole in the top and tie a ribbon up there, which would be very cute, but I don't know if that would fix my issue down here. So I need to get out my Fabri-Tac for my ribbon, and I want like a thinner ribbon. I'm thinking I want this ribbon, and this is just a ribbon I got at Hobby Lobby. So this card is still going to be Simply Beautiful. The process wasn't as simple, right? So I think I'm just going to put that down on the bottom to embellish it a little bit, and then that's going to secure my shaker bits from coming out because I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to get rid of my foam mat for just a second because I do not want to get glue on it. I can get glue on my measuring crafting mat all I want, and I can wash that off. And it's old anyway, so I'm going to cut more than I need. As always, cut more ribbon than what you need. And I'm going to glue that at the bottom. And I don't know if I'm going to punch a hole in the top or just embellish the top as well to secure that, because my sides are pretty secured. It's just my top where I did the extra trimming that I shouldn't have done because I was kind of taking the lazy way out, and I should have trimmed down my like my acetate sheets a lot better is what I should have done. So let that be a lesson for me, and please learn from my mistakes. You know, crafting is a process, and sometimes art is not beautiful during the process, but it's the finished product that everyone's looking at. So remember that. They don't know the struggle that you went through to create the finished product. So maybe it's good that I don't scrap this video because I can show you, hey, we're all crafters. Everybody makes mistakes. I just want to grab some of that glue off the end. So I'm just going to let that sit there, and I'm going to let that dry. I don't want to frame the whole thing in, which I actually could do, but that really wasn't my idea. I don't want to take too much away from Vintage Santa over here and his fun Merry Christmas and shaker bits, and he's singing a song to us. I don't want to do that. So let me get out my ribbon and just kind of see if I just like that, which I can, hey guys, get down, which I can do that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not totally mad at that. So I might just do that. And then that kind of helps secure the top. And I'm just going to squeeze out my Fabri-Tac, and it comes out clear. It's a little bit thicker of a glue because it's solvent based. It has a tiny bit of a smell. It doesn't last long. It doesn't really bother me a whole lot. It's stringy, kind of like hot glue, but it is magic. I love it. I love this stuff. I know I've seen some other people mention that this is all that they craft with. I don't. Obviously, I have like a paper glue that I use, and then I have the Fabri-Tac, and then I have just good old super glue to super glue like metal bits or whatever. So I could bring that around to the inside, which might add just a little bit more interest. So I think I'm going to do that. You could make it nice and clean and simple and just cut it off if that's what you want to do. It being your project, do what makes you happy. It's going to be a little bit frayed right there. It's ribbon. It's okay. This is a handmade card. If somebody comes back at me and says that they didn't like the inside of it with the ribbon, I'm not Hallmark. I'm handmade. And then I am going to trim off these. And sorry I couldn't make them happy, but hey, it was the thought that counts. Sorry guys, you won't be on my Christmas list next year. Okay, so let's get back out the pad. And this is just a foam stamping pad that I use because it helps my stamp make better contact with the paper so I have more even results. And I'm going to use just a sentiment on the inside. I wanted to use a little bit of a bigger sentiment because this card is kind of a statement piece, right? And I'm still debating if I want to maybe glue some of my mess from my desk over here that fell out of the card. I'm debating if I want to pick that up and kind of glue them on here a little bit, which I think I might want to. But I'm going to keep going for now. And this is from Stamps of Life, and it's Flourishes for Christmas stamps. What I really like about these stamps, they're really good quality, but the backer sheet's attached to the front. I do like that. I'm going to get out my stamp block. I'm going to get my ink, which sorry, I'm going to use a VersaFine ink. I did not have that on my table because VersaFine's really good at the fine details, and it's a really good stamping ink. So I'm just going to stamp this up pretty well. I've used this before. I used this on a lot on my Christmas cards last year because I mass produced my Christmas cards last year. They were all the same. I get bored with that. That does not spark joy for me. I like to make like a batch of one, so I will make a few more of these. And then I'll go ahead and post them on my Instagram, and you guys can see maybe the difference and know that, like, hey, the process wasn't perfect, but it did end up there. I'm going to take a chance because I've used this stamp before, and her stamps are really good quality. And I'm just going to try to center it up the best I can. And if I know I want to make more of a personalized statement in here, I can adjust the stamping how I want, but I have one whole side too. So I'm just going to leave it here. I really don't need to be pressing down on this as hard as I am because I have the foam mat. I'm confident in this stamp. I love the ink, but I want to make sure that it comes out good so I don't have to fuss with restamping it. So we're going to let that dry for just a second. I am going to get out my pokey tool, and that's, oops, it's stuck too. That's just another We Are Memory Keepers, which I think they're We Are Makers now, but it's a quick stick. I got this at Joann's when they're having a sale. But I just had a disastrous visit to Joann's this weekend. So I don't know if them filing for bankruptcy obviously has affected all of their stores, because I went to the best Joann's in my area, and it's the nicest and the biggest, and I've never had issues there. They had nothing out. They had boxes in the middle of the aisle. There was a poor lady trying to get down the middle of the aisle. Their lights were only half turned on, and you couldn't see what we were looking at, and it was just a mess. So let me pull this up. I don't have to unscrew it. So you could just, there's the, like the glue stick side on the end. And it just picks it up. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue. And I want that just a little bit tacky And some of the stuff that's spilt out, I'm just going to put down over here. Now, because it still is tacky, I sometimes have the issue of it, of it wanting to come up with it. So you could use tweezers too if you wanted to, really. I love the candy cane. It's so cute, which that might be too much. Too much stripe on stripe, maybe. Gonna leave that there. I'm gonna do another little spot right there. Gosh, I'm just batting 1,000 today. Nothing's working out for me. That's okay. Some crafty days are like that. I'm gonna do another one right here, right down here, and right up here. So I don't want to be pressing because I don't want to lock everything down that's in one area. Let me get that little pine needle. I think that would be fun. And let's put this here. And there's some really pretty glittery sequins in here in the mix. And I just want that down. There we go. So that'll take a little bit to dry, and then everything will dry nice and clear. The Merry Christmas sentiment did come in this pack. And then, like I said, this vintage Santa that I'm just in love with is from Sweet Pea Curiosities, and I'm going to go ahead and link her Etsy shop, and I'll try to specifically link that digital kit so you can look at it, because it's just a beauty. It's like a whole journal kit of ephemera and tags and Christmas goodness, and now I have sequins all over my hands, but I'm not mad about that either. So it's Merry Christmas, and we have our vintage Santa shaker front with our ribbon to reinforce my little mistake, but it's okay. And then Believe in the Magic of Christmas. And then when everything else dries up, I'm going to go ahead and put my personal stamp on the back of that. And we have just simply another beautiful Christmas card. So please join me for this series. I'm going to try to hashtag it. And I am excited to create more with you. So I will see you next time. Bye. Bye, guys.